Hi there, welcome back to part 3 of transformations of functions. We are talking about parameters a, b, h, and k of functions and how they affect the graphs. Remember, b and h, these are horizontal transformations that affect the domain. They will compress or stretch or dilate or shift a graph left or right, where the vertical transformations affects the outputs or your range values, a and k. These will make your graph get elongated, stretched vertically or reflected, and shifted up or down, okay? In a previous video, I went ahead and went over all of these factors and again showed a link to Desmos graph where you can manipulate the parameters. And again, we talked about how to calculate restricted domain and range. Remember that your domain is always going to be calculated by bx plus h, and your range is ay plus k. Okay, so you take these parameters, you multiply by this, and that's how you can find certain values. So let's go ahead and jump in. This lesson is going to focus a lot on graphs and identifying graphical transformations. So here's a multiple choice question. They say the graph of y equals f of x consisting of 3 line segments is shown for -8 to 9. Which of the following is the graph of g of x, which is -2 times f of x plus 3? So again, it's always important to just identify your parameters and to think about what is it going to do to the graph. So here, I would expect my values to be multiplied by -2. That is going to horizontally stretch or dilate. So you can imagine these values stretching or dilating by a factor of -2. So they're going to get longer and they're going to reflect. Okay, so our graph should be upside down. So it's definitely not going to be A. Like A is not flipped, and neither is D. Okay, that -a value causes a reflection. And then I'm expecting my graph to go left 3 units, right? So left 3 units. It's looking like to me it's going to be B. But again, something you can do is you can take these values, right? This value is 1. Okay, I can multiply by -2. So this value would be reflected and then stretched by a factor of 2. So here, okay, then this factor of -5 would be up at a positive 10, up here, okay? So this is the reflection component, and then this value is, I guess it's 0, so it's going to stay exactly the same, but it will reflect. So there's your graph with the stretching component, and then I'm going left 3 units, so 1, 2, 3, right? So all of these points get shifted left 2, 3 units. Okay, so here's kind of what we would expect our graph to look like. Oh, actually, sorry, it should look like that. Connect to here. Okay, and so that kind of just confirms our suspicions. B is the answer for this one. All right, here's a practice problem. Go ahead, look at this graph. They give, which of the following is the graph of g of x, which is f of x minus 2 plus 4. So identify your parameters. What's it going to do to the graph? Okay, hopefully on this one you identified h is 2. That's going to go right 2 units, and a k value, that is 4. That's going to take you up 4 units. So we're looking to go right and up. So it's not going to be D, and it's not going to be C because those went down. And we want to go right 2, which is going to be A. Answer A. Did you get A? Hopefully you did. Okay. All right, here's another practice one. Go ahead, pause the video, try this example. Okay, for this one, you have a horizontal dilation by a factor of 1/2. So we want this graph to compress horizontally 1/2. We don't want it to go ahead and vertically stretch by a factor of 2, right? Or vertically compress by a factor of 1/2. C is a horizontal stretch, dilation by a factor of 2 if you elongated it. So it's not C. The answer here, A. I would expect this graph to get tighter and tighter and compressed to the graph, right? And value-wise, again, if this is at 6, then if I compress to 3, it's going to be here, right? So this value is going to be about here. This value, that's at 1, 2, 3, at 3 is going to come to 1.5. Okay, and then this value right here, which is -8, is going to go to -4 right here. So all of those domain values, right, get multiplied by this b value. So that's how you get your graph. Okay, let's go ahead and let's look at domain and range questions. So these are very, very simple. If you remember the simple fact that in order to calculate domain, it is bx plus h, and range is ay plus k. Okay, so this is domain, this is range. And so they say domain is given -3 to 5 and range is 6 to 10. The function w is given by -p times x plus, or of x plus 2 minus 4. So the parameters that are given, a is equal to -1, h is equal to -2, k is equal to -4. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, you can do this, mentally, or you can do it with a table. And so what I like to do is I like to just write bx plus h and ay plus k, and I just calculate this. So my domain -3 to 5. Well, what I'm doing is I'm taking -3 and I'm taking 5, and all I'm doing is I'm going left 2 units. Subtracting 2. And so these values would be -5 to 3. -5 to 3, so C and D. And then my Y values are going to be AY plus K. So 6 to 10 is the range, so we'll multiply by a negative. And then I'm subtracting 4, which is my K value. So -6 take away 10 is going to be -10 to -14. Answer C. Answer is C. There you go. Pretty straightforward, right? Bx plus h, ay plus k. All right, go ahead, pause me, try this practice problem here. Okay, hopefully you started by identifying your transformations. You have a horizontal factor of 2. Your h value is 3. You're going to write 3, and then your k value is -1. So I put them, again, the values in a table. Your b value is 2 times -8 gives me -16, plus 3 is going to give me -13. So that's how come I knew it's going to be between b or d. And then my ay plus k, I don't have an a value, so I just take the range -6 and I'm subtracting 1. It's going to give me -7 to 1. Answer is D. Did you get it? Hopefully you did. Okay, next, kind of a combination of the last 2 types of examples that we've seen. They say the graph of y equals f of x is shown for -8 to 9. The function g is defined as 3 times f of x plus 1 plus 8. Which of the following are the domain and the range of g? So kind of what you need to do for f is you need to identify f's domain. The domain for f is going to be -8 to 9. Right? I just took the x values, -8 to 9. The range is going to be -5. I take the lowest y value and my biggest y value, which is 1. And then now this is just like the problems that we just did. I'm going to identify my parameters. A is 3, h is -1, and k is 8. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact calculations. So bx plus h. Let's see what we got here. So -8, 9. I don't have a b value, but I do have an h value, which is -1. -1. So -9 to 8. It's not going to be C or D. And then for my y values, ay plus k. So I'm multiplying my y values by 3. And you could probably tell just from that. And then we'll add 8. Add 8. Add 8. So it looks like we got, what, -15 plus 8, is that 7? -7. -7, okay. and then 3 plus 8, which gives us 11. So answer B. B. Okay, there you go. So go ahead, pause the video, try this example. Oh, and then 2, I think it's worth noting. It is worth noting this is the same exact graph. So the domain and range are there as given, okay? Pause me, try this one. Okay, so for this one, they just wanted domain. So identify your parameters. Your B factor is 2, H is positive 5, K doesn't even matter, and you just multiply, again, BX plus H to the domain, and that gave us negative 11 to 23. Answer D. Did you get it? Hopefully you did. Okay, again, same graph here. They want to know what is the range of G based upon this defined function of G. Pause me. Try this one, and then we'll check your answer. Okay, on this one, you have an A value that's negative 1, H value is negative 6, K value is 5. Only the A and the K matter. The H does not matter for range. Your domain was negative 5 to 1. So negative 5 to 1, if we multiply by negative 1, we get a reflection, and then we'll add 5, we get 10 and 4. I really wish this answer would be 4 to 10. But anyway, answer is B, okay? So hopefully you learned about transformations of functions, especially when it comes to graphs and domain and range. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something. I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.